Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Pokemon Violet. So, as I mentioned in the stadium videos, we're taking a small little hiatus from playing Twilight Princess. Now, while I don't have any, intention of doing anything too serious with Pokemon, with this game, there is stuff that I wanted to talk about. As far as future of the channel, what does, not even, future of the channel, but future of, a potential series revolving around, Pokemon Scarlet, a future LP with Pokemon Scarlet, or, what that looks like. Because believe me, if I do a Scarlet LP, it'll be one of the longest LPs on this channel. Even longer than what Twilight Princess is shaping out to be. Twilight Princess is probably going to be roughly around 100 episodes just because of how long it is and how lengthy the side quest plus main quest is. That's just how long it is. It's a great game, and believe me when I say this, I am happy to take on that challenge. But it is a draining process. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to juggle, all of that, you know? But, as I was saying, trying to figure out how to juggle, coming up with more creative ideas, because I do have several ideas in terms of where the LPs can go. As far as how far the LPs can go, or how the LPs can look and change, you know? But or if we're gonna take a break in between LPs and get back to playing Pokemon Stadium again. We're competitive on here, trying to relearn that system, even though I'm kind of turned off by that whole idea. Or maybe we play Pokemon Scarlet, or maybe play play a lot of Splatoon 3 again in the meantime or something. I haven't decided yet. And that's where my I don't know yet kind of conversation turns to. Is I don't know what we want to do from there. Because I have a lot of plans and ideas for those 3 series. The LPs, the competitive, the Pokemon Stadium stuff, and all of that. Meanwhile, it feels like I don't have a whole lot of good Pokemon ideas, but meanwhile, I'm just man, do I just take a break from recording LPs after after I get finished, or do I do that? That's kind of where I'm at mentally, is because the LP, Twilight Princess is takes a lot to make. Not just because, it's hard to record a Wii. It is. I just recently figured out how to make the videos look better. Just recently. But, anyway. The one thing that I wanted to ask the one thing that I wanted to talk about was the future of a Scarlet LP. And it really boils down really kind of into a review of the DLC. Now, as most of you are probably aware, I love Pokemon more than anything. And I will defend Scarlet and Violet quite a bit. I think Scarlet and Violet are the best Pokemon games in terms of story that we have gotten since Generation 5. And I will die on that hill. I think they're the best. I think they have great qualities to them. But there are some things that are pointed out about this game that are suffering. And with the recent release of Palworld, which we're not playing that on this channel. A, we're a Nintendo channel, and B, I just don't have interest in survival games. They're not my cup of tea. But Palworld looks better, runs better, and just does a lot right. You know? And it's not that like, oh, this game is terrible, blah, blah, blah. No. This game's great. It has some great visuals to it. But I think the problem with Pokemon nowadays is that they have forgotten themselves. You know? I think a lot of things have gone wrong. Just wrong. And that it's caused a lot more harm than good. In as long as this. But I still stand by the whole thing of the story is so much better than a lot of Pokemon games. The story of Arven, Nemona, Penny, all of them, and I won't go into discussion about all of it. I won't. I think the main game is a 7 out of 10. With the performance being its main conflict. Being its main issue. And it's a genuine concern. That is a genuine, like, criticism. It's not just like, oh, he's... And I know how I sound. I know that I am defending it by saying it's the best example of good story in a Pokemon game. I know that that sounds like, oh, he's just defending it. I am defending it. But here's where my butt comes in. I think even though it's the best, like, story in Pokemon, I do concede that it has some very bad performance issues that can't be looked over, right? But anyway, you're not here to hear me rant and rave about how I think this is the best story and blah blah blah, right? And if I did an LP, I would go over why I believe it's the best story because of certain moments in the main story. The reason I bring all of that up is to talk about the DLC and my thoughts about the DLC. I find the DLC to be kind of odd. And when I say odd, I mean confusing. Okay? Pokemon... So, think about it this way. Pokemon DLC started out in Sword and Shield. And those games didn't try to really connect the main story to the DLC. But unfortunately, for that DLC, for the DLCs in Scarlet and Sword and Shield, they were purely free roam. Like, it was pretty much the wild area expanded. Go where you want to go, ride your bike wherever, that kind of stuff. Which is always great. You know, like, you're talking about, like, the best of the best. And adding a lot more customization. You're allowed to change your character's gear and outfits. It was great. Like, the DLC for Sword and Shield was amazing. It opened up a lot. It wasn't, like, incredible. I say amazing, but it was, like... It was good. It was a good DLC. It expanded the Sword and Shield gameplay. It didn't really do a whole lot for story, because there was no real villain in the DLC. Right? But when you go to Paldea in Gen 9 and in Scarlet and Violet, right? It becomes this... The DLC becomes this thing of, it's connected to your treasure hunt. Hope you find out what your hidden treasure is. And sure, some of the, like, people just like me sometimes will be like, oh, the treasure has to be friendship, right? Because that's what the whole theme of Pokemon is. It is, but it's also kind of strange that the hidden treasure of Area Zero was all building up to fighting Terapagos, right? Meanwhile, like, you rebuild a friendship with Kieran and all of that. Listen, I find all of the DLC is kind of middling at best. I find there are some cool moments, but you don't get to redo them. I think there are some things that are interesting. I mean, in this DLC, you get to go back to the, I can't even say it because it's a spoiler. I won't say anything, but, like, there's a secret ending that you can achieve. But listen, the DLC, but my complaint about the DLC, and it's a lot of resonant complaints with a lot of people, is that it doesn't seem like the DLC feels empty, in a way. In terms of, like, its connections. The story of the DLCs, the combined story, is one of jealousy between friends, a trainer getting beat all the time, doesn't want to get beat anymore, so he turns into a ruthless trainer. And that doesn't work for him because he gets beat instantly. He gets beat by us, the player. And it just and near the end, when you realize, oh, the trainer has lost his mind and just wants to beat us, it comes to this thing of, Kieran, please stop. Like, come on, man. Your obsession has grown too big. But, like, again, that's spoilers. But it's why I'm hesitating in terms of when Twilight Princess is finished, of whether or not we do that LP. And really, this is, I understand that this is not a normal video. Normally, we talk about the gameplay or like we do something in Violet, but I wanted to release this kind of video where we just hang out and chat. A hangout and chat sesh. Because I really do feel that the DLC is quite lacking. I like the DLC, I do. I think the addition, the new Pokemon, the bringing back of older Pokemon to this game is always a good touch. There are certain things that I like. The new Throwball Pokeball animations are nice. Having all the starters available for the very first time. This feature where you can like run around as your Pokemon, I think is incredible. I think it's great. I really do. But I'm also of the mind that, you know, I think that there's just some things that I wish they would do differently. And I don't think that'll ever change. I don't think that'll ever change. Because I find this game to be very difficult. Not even difficult to play, but just difficult to really say, oh, it's that it's worth playing in terms of an LP. But I will concede though that at least with this particular DLC, they introduced some neat features. Especially being able to just free fly, which is great. Like the last time we had this kind of like discussions and news updates and all that stuff, we weren't able to go around and do this where you can just fly around the overworld however you want. But listen, I really feel like if I want to do a Scarlet an LP for you guys, because I feel like Scarlet has such the story of Scarlet has untapped potential that people just don't realize. But it becomes a problem of like, how much enjoyment would I get out of it? Because when I get to the DLCs, I don't know if I'll play them. It would take a large amount of convincing for me to go through the DLCs. It would take a large amount of convincing to go through the DLCs, you know? Like, but I don't know. I know I'm just spitballing, and I'm sure that Nintendo's gonna be mad at me for criticizing their games. Or maybe they won't, because I have nothing but love, you know, for the series, and it's my favorite series of all time. Like, of all time. Despite how much this wounds me in terms of, like, performance, I still think Pokemon is the best, is my favorite series of all time. I love it dearly. Do I trust Game Freak? Do I trust, like, game devs to make, like, the best product ever? No. I don't trust anything. You never should put your full faith into anything. In terms of, like, games, anyway. I can't say that for everything, but you can say it for video games. You shouldn't put your full faith in a digital good. Whether you got it physically or not. But anyway, Nintendo... But anyway, I think that will be our ending point. It's just, I'm not sure yet if we're going to do a Scarlet playthrough or not. I also have the idea of doing, like, Super Mario RPG as a playthrough. Do Super Mario RPG as a playthrough, which is another RPG, but it would be a shorter RPG than what Pokemon would be. Or do something else on the GameCube. Do something else on the GameCube, like play through Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And while I don't have Colosseum, I can pretty much give you the synopsis of Colosseum's story. You can play through that, which is, it's a great game. It's one of the best, standard Pokemon games ever. If you want to know a Pokemon game where you steal Pokemon from people and not get in trouble for it, XE and Colosseum are your kind of cup of tea. However, Colosseum, like, you're stealing it from bad guys, I should say. But, yeah. Mostly. But yeah, I feel like I haven't decided what we're going. Sorry. But the next LP is going to be. Keep an eye out. You'll hear from me sooner or later about that. Probably much, much later once we beat Twilight Princess. But yeah, I just felt like we needed to have a small conversation about it. This video's ran a little long. Longer than I wanted it to. So I think I'm going to end off the video here. And next time, we'll probably be playing Twilight Princess when you next hear from me. I'm going to go take a break and rest my voice now, because I feel like I'm sniffling throughout this entire video, the last 3 videos. So, I will catch you all next time. If you like this video of me just rambling and running around the terrarium and... or running around the terrarium, let me know. If you don't like it, whatever, cool for you, I guess. But if you find yourself liking the video, make sure to hit the like button. Comment down below if you have any suggestions of what my next LP should be, or thoughts on what my next LP should be. Mind you, I would love to play the DS Pokemon games, but getting that all set up is very expensive. I would love to do DS Pokemon games, because those games are genuinely, like, the best ever. In terms of, like, product and best, like, performance ever. I would love to do that, but we're not going to be able to do that. But as far as next LP, let me know. What is your thoughts on the DLC? Also let me know that. Whatever you want, man. Like, you can comment down pretty much whatever you want. Like, comment, do all that. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and like my content, make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe. I make LP I make Let's Plays 99% of the time, and we do other videos like Stadium, Splatoon 3, which will be coming back once Twilight Princess is done. I just don't have time to get into competitive Splatoon 3 that much anymore, and I haven't played it in a while. So if you want to see me go back to Splatoon 3, make sure to come back later. If you wanted a little preview of what me playing Splatoon 3 looks like, there's a playlist that I'll put down in the description of this video, and you can find it. But until next time, I will catch you all in the next episode of Twilight Princess. Have a great day.